Barry, it's been a difficult day for you, obviously. What are your reactions to the events of today?
I obviously fully accept the club's decision to suspend me and fine me 2 weeks' wages. And obviously the embarrassment I've caused Rangers, the fans, my family and friends.
Looking back, do you regret what's happened in the past 4 or 5 days?
Of course, I'd be a fool not to. I held my hands up on Sunday night and says that I'd done the wrong thing. We all make mistakes. I made a big mistake here, and I need to take the consequences that come with making the mistakes. But I just need to get on with it now and take what comes, and just get on with my life now.
Allan, obviously a difficult day for you. The club has announced the 2-week suspension. How do you react to that today?
Just obviously very disappointed about it, but I can totally understand it and I've accepted it. I can understand how the club's feeling and the situation. I'm just obviously deeply sorry and embarrassed for what I've done and the embarrassment I've caused the club, family, Scotland and all the fans out there.
It can't have been easy, obviously. Scotland have announced as well that they won't select you or Barry again in the future. Do you regret what's occurred in the last 5 days?
Yeah, of course we do. We've held our hands up. She's sorry at the time. Deeply regret. It was always an honour for me to play with Scotland, the few chances that I had. But it's just, this stage of my career, it's a big disappointment that's been taken away.
Obviously the Rangers fans have been great supporters of you over the years, and I know you appreciate that.
Yeah, totally. Just over the last few years when I started playing the first team, they've been superb. I'm just obviously upset for them as well, that the embarrassment I've caused them as well, so I just want, hopefully they'll be behind me when I get back. I just want to say sorry and apologise to them.
What's your reaction, Barry, to Scotland's decision that yourself and Allan won't be selected anymore?
Obviously, I'm bitterly disappointed that the actions that they've took. What else can you say? I've always felt it was a privilege to play with my country, and especially captain my country. But they've came to a decision not to select me in the future, and that's the decision they make. And there's nothing I can do. But what I can say is, when I did play with Scotland, it was always an honour for me to do so.
Martin, you've just made the announcement that Barry Ferguson and Allan McGregor will be suspended for 2 weeks without pay for their actions this week. Can you explain that situation for the supporters?
Quite simple, Lindsay. This football club expects standards. The Rangers supporters expect standards, and these two players in particular have let us down. The events of the last week have been not good for anybody involved. Nobody wins out of it. And this afternoon the club decided to take the severest action under club rules that it can take. We don't condone the behaviour of the two players. We don't condone the behaviour of our captain in particular, and we felt this was the best way forward. Both players, however, were prepared to accept that their actions have not been befitting of Rangers Football Club, and offered their profuse apologies. But in doing so, we've had to take the severest action that we can give.
It was obviously a difficult decision to come to. Walter Smith mentioned earlier at the press conference that you obviously gave it a lot of thought, because clearly they're important players in the squad.
They're very important players in the squad, but this football club is bigger than anyone, as I've just mentioned, and I think that we owe it to our supporters to maintain standards at the football club. There's no doubt about it that these players will be missed in a run into the Championship, and the Championship is vital. But the decision has been taken, and I believe that it's the right decision.
You mentioned earlier that the club does have a great tradition, and they've had great captains over the history of the club, and I guess personally you must be disappointed by what's happened.
I don't think anybody wins out of the last week. I don't think Scotland has won out of it. I don't think the players have won out of it, and Rangers Football Club certainly hasn't. However, we've now dealt with the episode, and we'll now look forward in maintaining standards are kept at Rangers. and I think it's definitely a signal to anybody else that these actions that the club has taken demonstrate that the actions that the players have taken will not be tolerated.
On the back of, or simultaneously if you like, to the Rangers decision, the SFA have announced that they won't select either player again for international duty. Are you surprised by that?
Slightly surprised at the timing of it. There was a couple of incidents this week, and obviously the week has now become a long week. But for the two players involved, I know that they're deeply disappointed that they'll not be playing for their national team again.